Hey guys, Indy with Ultimate Tool Reviews here. Wanted to just do a video on impact drivers for a minute. And of course, I see a lot of people will comment or make videos about impact drivers and that, oh, this impact driver or this brand of impact driver is faster or more powerful. Um, and I get where a lot of people are coming from with impact drivers, of course, wanting to have the most powerful, fastest impact driver. And it always changes between brands. 1 month it's DeWalt, 1 month it's Milwaukee, and I know the new Flex that came in was pretty powerful. I think that beat the Milwaukee. Right now, I believe the new Hilti Neuron impact driver, I think, is one of the most powerful ones, if not the most powerful one out there right now. But I want to talk about something interesting with impact drivers in that when I buy an impact driver, I don't always just look for the most powerful impact driver out there. I've owned the Milwaukee M18 Gen 3. I've currently owned the current ones that you see in front of me here. I've got a few other impact drivers as well too. I've got the older Makita driver, and one of the things, though, with impact drivers that I don't necessarily always look for is power. Of course, that's important to me. I do look for power, but it's not the first thing I look for when I look for an impact driver, because there's actually many other features to an impact driver that are still really, really important. So each of these three impact drivers here I've got in front of me has something about them that is unique, and it's not power. Between these two impact drivers, these are probably the most powerful impact drivers right here, and they're definitely fantastic impact drivers. But what I like about each impact driver, and I only bought this DeWalt because of just how short it is. I do some demolition work of taking down screened-in patios, and if you're working on like any type of screens or any type of outdoor enclosures, you really understand how tight it is to get a bit or just an impact driver or a drill or anything to remove those screws at times. So having a really, really short impact driver can be super handy. Of course, you can always use like a right angle drill or right angle impact, but having just a impact driver that's so short, so small like this is super handy to have. And I've used this impact driver a number of times. Just be able to get behind, in tighter areas, behind walls and stuff. It's basically been invaluable. It's also been one of the best tool purchases I've bought in the last year, I would say. I was kind of debating which tool is probably my favorite of the past year, and this is definitely in the top three for tools, just because of how short that impact driver is. It's smaller than any even 12-volt impact driver I've actually used, which is pretty cool. Moving on, though, to the Makita here. One thing about Makita that I really like about Makita is their attention to detail. While you look at like DeWalt and Milwaukee impacts, you've got basically speed 1 through 3. My Gen 3 M18 Fuel had the same thing. I'm not really a huge fan of just the 1, 2, 3. It's something, it's better than nothing, of course, but what Makita does is really cool. Giving me a number of modes on their impact drivers here. So I've got self-tapping modes. I've got basically 4 modes of power, unlike 3 on the DeWalt and the Milwaukees. I've got a little light button here, which is fantastic, working here like a mirror. I don't want to keep blinding myself. Also got a few other cool modes here for driving in legs, taking off nuts and bolts. Just for day-to-day use, I really like the Makita for that. Depending on what I'm driving in, if I'm driving in maybe a leg, I got to drive in 1 or 2 here or there. Fantastic for that. I mostly do a lot of self-tappers, and this thing is fantastic to prevent from over screwing those in. It really just helps the job go smoother and faster, having more modes than an impact driver. Basically just giving you greater customization. So that's what I really like about this. I also like how Makita has updated their LEDs to not just have an LED here, but now they've got 2 LEDs on the left and the right. Because I like the DeWalt design here of having the 3 LEDs right around the collet there. Really, really nice to have. And also Makita has updated this impact driver with a button here, so you can adjust and scroll through the modes just by pushing the button here. Basically a full one-hand operation there. Absolutely fantastic. But here's the impact driver that actually inspired the idea for this video. This is the Metabo HPT Triple Hammer Impact. This is the mid-range, just the 18-volt version. They make a 36-volt version, which looks pretty similar to this one, but just has a bit more power. And When I always heard about the triple hammer, I really didn't understand what it was at first, but basically, every impact driver that you pretty much can buy through almost any brand has basically, it looks like a bar, and it basically has two hammers that as they spin, two hammers will hit, and that's what gives that impact in the rotation. Now, the Metabo actually has three, and there are some pros and cons to that. So it looks just like like a, I guess we could call it, almost like a clover, I guess, a little bit, and how it would look. But when it comes to triple hammer impact drivers, is that they're going to hit faster, but they're going to hit with less power, because just like a double hammer, it can go make almost a full half rotation before hitting again, whereas a triple hammer is only going to make about a 30% rotation, and then it's going to hit the hammer. So what this means is, of course, you've probably seen some other testing on YouTube of guys testing on the Metabo versus any other brand. The Metabo is going to be a little bit slower when it comes to driving in larger bolts and screws. But where this really shines is doing smaller screws. I noticed doing some fencing that I was doing recently that the triple hammer was fantastic. It was actually quite a bit smoother and quite a bit faster as well, because it just hits faster, but with less power, giving you just a little more driving force there than just having a regular two hammer impact, which is pretty neat. As well as with this impact driver, it's IP56 rated. I believe maybe one or two other brands might have an IP56 rating, but with the Metabo having that, I'm in Florida, so of course we get rain, my backyard's a little sandy, and at times I'm working on the fence, I'm holding up a board, I'm just going to throw this down in the dirt, and I don't need to worry about it. It's going to be totally fine. I've done a few dunk tests with these as well. I think I did the impact wrench, where I would just dunk it in a bucket of water a couple times, pull it out, and it's been totally fine. So that's pretty nice to have. As well as with Metabo, these are actually pretty affordable tools too. Definitely cheaper than the DeWalt or the Makita that you see behind here. I picked this up with 2 batteries, a charger, and the hammer drill for about $150, and that was actually just the regular sale price on this kit, down from about $250 to $150. So fantastic deal, because this kit for the hammer drill, 2 batteries, they're actually 2 5s, was $400, and this DeWalt drill was this DeWalt Impact was with 2 5s and for about $200. So the Metabo, definitely a fantastic deal. But that's just my thoughts on impact drivers. I don't always look for the most powerful one. That's fine if you guys want to look for the most powerful impact driver, but there's definitely other reasons and other features to look at when you consider impact drivers. And I don't necessarily need to have the most powerful impact driver. I just need to have an impact driver that can do what I want it to do and be able to give me the features that just make my job easier. And really, having a ton of power isn't always what I need. Impact wrenches are a thing, and if I really need to drive something really big, really crazy, I'm going to grab an impact wrench and go do it that way. At the end of the day, if you use something like this, which is nowhere near as powerful as this Makita, yeah, the Makita is going to do the screws quite a bit faster, but do you need to save 4 seconds total in your job? That's kind of up to you, but really, it's not a huge deal to me, and at the end of the day, it's not necessarily going to make me more money at all times there. So having an option or a variety of impact drivers I think is the better option versus just trying to keep buying the most powerful impact driver you can buy. And of course, YouTubers like Project Farm, I love what he does, being able to find out the most powerful impact driver you can get, which is fantastic. But that's not what I'm always going to look for as the most powerful one. I'm going to look for definitely one that has the most features set. I'm looking for reliability. I'm looking for things like lighting is really important to me. The modes are really important to me. And that's what I'm looking for. I really want to find an impact driver that can just do more for me and allow me to do my job faster. And power isn't necessarily always what I need. So thanks for watching, guys. Leave your opinion in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. What's your favorite impact driver? And what qualifications do you look for when you buy an impact driver? Why would you buy one? What features are you looking for? So, all right, guys, thanks again, and have a great day.